Welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. In today's episode, I have some really beautiful farmhouse decor items to share with you. I really think you guys are going to love these. I love how they all turned out. I made them using my Falcon2 40-watt laser. I'm excited to share the process with you and show you how I created each of these. If you like crafting, DIYs, dupes, hacks, thrift flips, or just creating in general, I would love if you would consider subscribing. And if you do like any of today's projects, make sure to hit that thumbs up. But let's go make some DIYs. For a while now, I've been wanting to make a cute little birdhouse using a laser, and I thought this would be the perfect project to break in this new Falcon2 40-watt laser. Now, I have had the opportunity to try their 20-watt laser, which I was so impressed with. So when the company reached out and said, hey, we're launching this new 40-watt laser, would you be interested in trying it? I was like, hands down, yes, I would love to, because honestly, I was like, how can this top the last one that I used? But at twice the power and twice like the speed and everything that it has to cut through wood, like it's a game changer. If you run any type of crafting business or do craft shows or do any type of work with an Etsy store that you do this like woodworking with, anything like I'm showing here, or want to kind of get into that game, I highly suggest looking at this Falcon2 40-watt laser. The power and the speed that it has to cut through the wood with minimal passes is absolutely amazing. You can see how it has the delicacy to cut this little lattice work that's going to go on this birdhouse, and I'll show you later on in the video how it cuts through thicker pieces of wood, and it's just amazing. Now here I'm just getting all of the pieces sorted out. It was kind of like putting a puzzle together with this birdhouse. I love using this Gorilla Glue here. I had a viewer recommend getting one with a brush, which literally changed my life when it came to putting together these laser pieces. I'm literally not kidding when I say that, because I hated getting the glue all over my fingers and the different ways. If you watched me try it in different ways, you'll know that this really is such a much easier way to get these pieces together. Now, you definitely can use wood glue. I have found with a lot of these little pieces here, this super glue gives the quickest bond to hold them, and I have not had a problem with any type of joints being held together or anything like that. I love these little clamps that I have. I'll link them below in my description box. I did just pick mine up at my local hardware store. I have them in various sizes, and they are so nice to be able to hold things and clamp things together, how they squeeze together. You don't have to be cranking anything like that. They're very easy on your fingers also. Now, when you're using this laser, all of the cuts are so precise. I love that when you're cutting your item and you go to lift it out of your tray, that it is such a clean and precise cut, and you don't have that problem of a lot of like the pieces not cutting out, or you have to go back and keep adjusting things. I have had such success with all of the pieces I have cut out with this. So you can see how my birdhouse is coming together here. And again, I'm just using those clamps, and I have this little roof joint that we're going to put on here. And so I'm just trying my best to get this. At first, I could not really figure out, now I'm not the brightest person, but I couldn't figure out how the roof went on here. But it took me a second to kind of figure this out and go, oh, okay, these fit together here and it slides on. I don't know why I had, it took me a minute to figure that out. Anyhow, I'm just putting some glue along the base of the birdhouse. You could probably leave it open on the base there, but I did, since it cut it out, I just put it on there, and I just gently tapped that in with my finger so it had a good fit there, and would glue and hold and everything, and I just kind of clamped it to make sure that it got a really good tight bond there. Now I'm going to paint my birdhouse. The fun thing about doing projects like this is you get to choose the colors that will best fit your decor. I was kind of going for a really clean, almost like summer vibe today with my projects, and so they all kind of fit well together, so you'll see that. But you would have so much fun coming up with different colors to paint your different birdhouses or things like that. I really do like the contrast that I do here. You'll see here in a moment with kind of a coppery look and the white here. You can see I just used a spray paint that was kind of like a hammered metal in a copper color to spray paint these. I'll link that below in my description box as well, so you can see that I've used it in a lot of my other videos, and I really do like this type of spray paint, and I thought it was really fun, the details on this birdhouse, to have that contrast. So I have that cute little flower almost around the little hole opening there for the cute little birds to go inside. And then this lattice work that goes on the front. And one of the things that I thought was super cute about this birdhouse is it came with this thing to go on top, almost made it look like a churchy type birdhouse. I'm not really sure, but it really is cute, and I really love the vibe that it's giving off here, and it fits so well on there. Now you guys know that distressing is something I love to do, and I know it is very, very personal, so it's up to you how you would decorate your birdhouse or anything like that. I do know that this look does sell very well, and so that's why I tend to stick to doing things like this. If you're wanting to mark things, as you want to pay attention to the items that do sell and stick with those, but it's always nice to have a variety too. And you'll see in one of my projects up here, I show a couple different ways to do one project to have a different look. Now, looking at this birdhouse here, and I'm thinking it's so cute. I'm going over the front of it with a little bit more very, very light dry brushing. It's kind of like how it's sat out for a little bit, you know, on your front porch or something. But look at how cute this looks all together here. I love the look of that hammered metal spray paint and the contrast that that gives. And this laser cut all of this out so absolutely perfect. What do you guys think of this birdhouse? I really want to show you guys the power of this machine. So I am doing just a simple circle. This is a 1/4 inch MDF board. I believe the conversion on that is 19 millimeters. I'll show you in just a moment when I measure it with a ruler. But it is going to do this in so many little passes. I'll put all of my information down in the description box so you guys can see exactly what I do, because that is one of my most commonly asked questions when I do cut through these thicker pieces, is what my settings are at. So I will definitely provide those with you below, so that way you can try and recreate this. This is real time that this is cutting out here. And I believe that this is the cut where I end up doing, I had to keep lessening it. I kept lessening, like going from like 5 passes to 4 passes to 3 passes. I get this to cut out at 2 passes to cut through this 1/4 inch. That is insane to me, you guys, when you're able to cut through this thick of wood and be able to have it cut all the way through with that little of time. If you guys know anything about making things for craft fairs or your Etsy store, or being able to make inventory for yourself, time is money. And so to be able to save yourself that time, you have to be able to have something that works quickly and meet your needs and your demands. So that was 2 passes that did. I show you the underneath part to show you it went all the way through, and it pushes through with absolute ease. And it comes out crisp and clean. That is crazy to me. So after I got it cut out with 2 passes, I thought, I'm going to defy the odds here. I'm going to try 1 pass. Now, granted, this is sped up to double speed here, and so the machine is working at a very, very slow speed. But 1 pass to cut through this thick wood, like, to me, that was unheard of. I have never had a machine that has been capable to do that. It's taken several. I think on the last machine that I used to get it to cut out, I had to do like 8 or 9 passes to get it to cut out all the way. I can't remember, but it was a high number. So the fact that I was even trying 1 pass was almost laughable to me, because I thought, there is no way. My husband was sitting there watching this with me, and we were like, there's no way it's going to work. There's just absolutely, like, it's not. But you guys, when this machine stopped for me right here, and I went to pick this up, and I'm like, it cut all the way through. Like, how easily does it come out? It totally worked. A total game changer when you guys are cutting through thick wood for crafting. So I thought I would just grab a ruler really quick and show you here that this is a 1/4 inch MDF board. Amazing, you guys. I have this really cool enclosure, so I can actually use this laser indoors or in my shop. I can have it ventilate out of the window, so that way I can have it be a little bit less smoky in there, which is amazing here. So I just use that as I did my other projects here. I am using this same MDF board here, just left over on some scrap wood, to cut out these bird shapes. And again, you guys, 2 passes, and look at that. Oh my gosh, it comes right out. And just showing you the measurement there of the wood that I did, so that way you can have that for reference. And then just showing you here, this is so nice because it does have this window that you can check in. It does have that laser safe vinyl on there that has that tone there that's going to block the laser rays. Of course, you still want to make sure that you have your glasses on just as a safety precaution. I cut 6 of these little birds out, which I thought how fun that would be to sell these in sets of 3s. And immediately my mind started going to, okay, what else can you make as far as different holidays of different sets of these little wood blocks, because they were so easy to cut out, so easy to paint, and they would be so cute to sell as a set. And I really think that it would be a great thing to have at a craft show or something. So I did these 2 different ways. The first set I'm completely covering in white paint. I'm doing a full coat, a full 2 coats actually, to give full coverage. The next 3 I decided to do more of like a messy coat on. So not full coverage, just kind of a sporadic, very rustic looking here. So it doesn't really do the full coverage. Just, you can kind of see how I'm doing this here, guys. Just a very different approach to each of them. I love how each of them came out. I will tell you that as I was making these right at this point, I thought, oh, these are going to be my favorite because they have that more rustic farmhouse look. But when I finish, I honestly don't know which one I like better. So you can just see how the coverage goes on both of those there. And I thought it would be really cute to have these have a little personal touch using a stencil. And so I've used this stencil on several other of my projects before. I love it. I did just pick it up. I think I got this one at Hobby Lobby in their stencil section. But really, if you have the capability to make your own stencils, like with a cutting machine or any craft store, Walmart sells stencils. They are so fun to use. Chalk Couture stuff would be so fun to use too. I'm just randomly putting the design on there, and then I'm just doing a pouncing motion here for the stencil. And I'm using, this is the Duck Egg color in the Dixie Belle paint, which is currently like one of my most favorite colors. I absolutely love it. I had somebody give me a tip of maybe to do a little bit of circular motion when I was doing the stencils with the stencil brush, so I was trying that. It worked out fairly well, to be honest with you. So definitely something easy to do there. And I just go through each of these birds and I randomly turn the stencil different directions, so that way the pattern is not the same on each of them. I feel like that's really what gives these some character and what is really going to add that different element of embellishment on them. And when you have them as decor in your home, they're not completely like cookie cutter because you've kind of differentiated them. So again, I do the same thing on this other style of bird that I did here, just very easily doing that stencil. This was a very quick process to do here, and I love how these turn out. Now, I decided to take the ones that had the full coverage, and I decided to sand the edge because I felt like it did give it actually a little bit more of a higher end look. It wasn't like a completely like coats of paint slapped on it. It actually had a very like more refined look. So in my mind, at least, it did, and I loved it. And I thought as I did this, I went over the top of the stencil to smooth it out, but I really liked the look of the faded stencil. I thought that that really had that kind of rustic touch to it. And I just thought these were so absolutely adorable. See how it has kind of that little rustic touch to the stencil? I go through on all the birds and I end up sanding all of these stencils on the front of them, so it does kind of have a more rustic look. But look at these. Which ones do you guys, which set would you guys prefer? The set of the full coverage ones or the set of the really more rustic? I think they both turned out so cute, but I honestly think the full coverage ones, I might be leaning a little more towards those. So now that I know that I have the capability to quickly cut out thicker pieces of wood, I thought this would be the perfect project to try. I'm going to make a farmhouse cloche here. I really think you guys are going to like this. I made a Gothic church in one of my last like little planter box in one of my last laser videos, and you guys went nuts about it, and I really wanted to show you a different approach. So if the Gothic style was not your style, you wanted a more simplistic look, that there was a different style out there. So I really think that you guys are going to love how this turns out. Now I am just using this Gorilla super glue. I've used the DAP brand, or I'm not sure if it's DAP or DAP or however you say it, but there's lots of different brands of different types of adhesive super glues to use. I do just like the quickness that they dry in. I feel like sometimes with the wood glue you're waiting for so long, so if you can combine the two or even use hot glue with the wood glue if you have a larger surface area. On this, I will tell you that the super glue holds great, and it is so sturdy. I mean, you could shake this thing back and forth and it's not coming apart. So it has these little joints cut out around the exterior that your middle ring is going to fit into. So it was kind of like putting a little puzzle together here with getting all of the pieces exactly where they needed to be while the glue was still a little bit pliable, so that way I could get everything where it needed to be before it had its final cure. To dry. So you can see I'm just using that brush to get that glue inside of each of those little joints to make sure that there is enough glue there that it's going to reach all of the pieces of wood that it needs to. If you have any suggestions on different adhesive or different glue to try, I love getting tips from you guys that have different ideas, because I feel like we're learning together on a lot of things. This is when a project really starts to come together. I was really nervous about this one, but I really could start to see it take shape here. This file was really easy to work with. I will leave a link to the files that I used down in my description box, so that way you guys will know exactly the ones that I did use. This one, I was so happy that I cut it out with the thicker wood, because it really does look so substantial, and I love that I have the capability with this Falcon2 40-watt laser to be able to do that. Now, if I had to do this over again, and next time I make this, because I can guarantee you I will make more of these because it turns out so stinking cute, but I really think I would spray paint this over painting it, hand painting it. It just took a little bit longer than I wanted to. It was just late at night when I was painting this, and so I didn't really want to go spray paint in the dark or anything like that. And so I thought, oh, I'll just hurry up and slap a couple coats of paint on here. There was no hurry up about it. It really did take quite a while, maybe like an hour to paint this. There was a lot of just little nooks and crannies, as you can see here, but I just kind of took it in sections and worked and did my best to get the coverage all over it. Now, you guys have seen me paint 100 times. You don't necessarily need to see me paint this anymore, but I'm just showing you all of the different edges and pieces that you do have to paint, where spray paint would work so much easier. After the paint did dry, I went around all of the edges and I decided to do just a little bit of sanding to kind of bring that edge out a little bit more. To me, I kind of felt like that gave it a little bit more dimension and detail, which in my opinion gives it a little bit of a higher end look than just leaving it the plain white. Now, you don't have to distress it as much as I do, because I do love that distressed look. And again, I have found that that sells really well and people really do like that. However, if you do want it to look pretty high end, you've got to add a little bit more detail into it. And so I feel like sanding the edges does give it that. If you look at all of the pieces that you find in the home decor store or craft store or anything like that, you'll notice that they do all have a little bit, even if it's not a farmhouse style, that a lot of times they will have that little bit of detail that adds a little bit of a higher end look to it. Now, it cut out these little pieces of wood that they wanted you to paint this in the file like hardware. And so I did just use that hammered metal copper spray paint and glued them on with just some super glue to look like it's the metal hardware at the top of this cloche. Now, I did go in with a little bit of antiquing wax on a brush, and I dry brushed a little bit all over to give it a little bit more vintage worn look. Again, that's my style. I know it's not everybody's style, so that's completely up to you how you embellish your items. I feel like if you were to paint this in several different colors, I feel like the white does kind of, if you're putting plants in it, the white kind of does just disappear a little bit. It's just kind of there but doesn't block your view. But a color might look so pretty depending on what type of plants you put in here, or even if you were to paint the whole thing a metal color to look like it was made out of metal, I think it would be absolutely beautiful to do that. Here's a look at the completed piece. I think this is so beautiful. It is very high-end looking, and this piece is so substantial. And the fact that I can cut this out with my laser in minimal time, these thick pieces of wood, is absolutely amazing, because I feel like these pieces right here that you can create go for top dollar. What do you guys think of this piece? Is this something that you would use to decorate in your home? One of my most favorite laser projects to make are different signs. I just love signs for your front door, for your home, your porch, anywhere. I just think they're so fun and they're so easy to make, and this laser definitely makes quick work of these signs. So this is just a round sign I was making for my front door. I just thought it would be super fun to have a cute sign for summertime. Plus, I thought it matched all of the DIYs that I was making today. So as you can see, I just cut out the large circle. You can definitely do a thicker wood with this laser because it gives you those capabilities. And I thought the duck egg blue was it's kind of a greenish blue here, but I thought it would be a perfect color for the base of the sign. And then I'm just using my paint markers to paint the letters here. So I just used a white for hello, and then I'm laying some washi tape down from Dollar Tree as my little border here, because I thought it would be cute to kind of have this white little spot here for my other letters to kind of have a contrast. And so I'm just peeling that tape back. Now, whenever you use this tape here, if you happen to have a little bleed through, or as I did, I went over the edge, I'm just taking a little bit of that base color of that duck egg blue there, and I'm going over that spot where I kind of got a little white, and easy peasy, it comes right off. Now, this was a little difficult, I will admit here, but I think it ends up looking great in the end. So I just traced the design with a pencil, and then I kind of painted it or traced it with my paint marker, and I went back in with a paintbrush to paint all of the little details. This did take a little bit of time. You don't have to be exact or precise because you are going to be placing this piece that I'm coloring black here, that I'm painting with my paint marker black here. It's going to go over and be the outline, and trust me, when it all comes together, it looks so pretty. Right now it does not look the greatest here, but as you can see, I'm going to take that piece and place it over, and I mean, does that not just set that off just perfectly? I love it. I also painted all of the letters for summer in black, and then I'm just using that Gorilla Glue to glue these all down, just kind of eyeballing them to be centered as best as possible as I can here. And then I will go through and glue down all of these letters that spell summer on there, making sure that they're as even as I can get them there. I just think this sign turns out so adorable. I think it's going to be perfect for my porch and my front door for summertime. I love those colors, and I love the way that everything pops on there. Again, these are such easy items to sell because look at how beautiful they are, and I think that they are so absolutely fun to make. And again, this laser makes such quick work of these items. Thank you so much for watching today. It was so fun getting to use the Falcon2 40-watt laser to create all of these beautiful items here. You guys, I'll have a link down in my description box for all of the information about this machine and this laser, so that way you can check it out, see if you're wanting to take your crafting game to the next level, start making money, selling your items, having to be able to make them with ease. You guys are going to love this machine. So check that link down out in my description box. Thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. I'll see you next time. Happy crafting. If you like the video that you just saw and you want to keep crafting together, here's another video that you might enjoy. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.